Hey, everybody, and welcome to We All See Things podcast with myself, Nathan, and my co host, Lauren.
Hello.
Today, we're actually going to talk about exorcisms, where they started, the processes, and where they are today. And okay, so we spent the past week researching exorcisms, and I've learned a fuck ton and very crazy stuff of like the very first recorded one ever was in 250 AD, was apparently the very first ever recorded one. And I actually had to have my phone here because there's just so much information. I wasn't able to remember it all. Um, Now, it was 250 AD. However, there appeared to be a special class of lower clergy called exorcists, to whom was entrusted this special function. About the same time, exorcism became one of the main ceremony things to the Baptist Church and remains part of the Roman Catholic Baptist service. So it's been in there for damn near 2,000 years. They've been practicing exorcisms or exorcists practicing. Yeah.
Yeah. So exorcisms have been around for a very, very long time, but they're not very much talked about, as some people don't like to talk about them because of them being too scary, or it's just a made up thing, as other people think.
Well, exactly.
So if you don't know what an exorcism is, let me explain a little. So an exorcism is a religious or a spiritual practice of evicting demons, jinns, or other spiritual entities from a person or an area that's believed to be possessed. So that's what an exorcism is.
Mm-hmm.
I had a house exorcism many years ago, because me being a paranormal investigator, I bring home things that should be coming home with me. And at this time, I was only just starting off being a paranormal investigator. So I was kind of like sort of knowing what's there and what's not there, and how to, protect myself, and what to use and how to use it, and all that kind of thing. The same with paranormal equipment. And this is way back in 2017. So yeah, I was just starting to get on my feet with the whole paranormal thing. So, one night I came back from an investigation, and there was like a few shadow people in the kitchen, and I just walked out the front door, went to my dad's house to sleep for the night. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to be, I'm not scared or anything. I just don't want to be in that situation if something
Mm-hmm.
goes wrong.
Yeah, you show up at your house and there's all of a sudden like weird shadow people running around. You're like, nah, I'm out. Not dealing with that right now.
It's like, I just came back from an investigation. I don't want to deal with this right now. It's like, come on, I want to go to bed.
Exactly. Well, ghosts don't really go to sleep. But yeah, so like it's crazy, like the amount of like now what people think, like a lot of us, for like me for a longest time, pretty much up until this past week, the only like experience or knowledge I have of any type of exorcism is probably from the movie The Exorcist and the one that came out probably like not too long ago, the Exorcism of Emily Rose. Is that it?
Yeah, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. That was based on a real case from Annalise. I forgot what her last name is, but way back they did an exorcism on this girl called Annalise, and I'm not 100% sure what happened because I haven't read much on that story, but apparently the exorcism of Emily Rose was basically a story of what happened to Annalise when she had an exorcism. That's what I got off it.
So I've done a little bit of research on that one. Now, the priests and the clergymen involved actually, they all were arrested, and some of them actually are facing prison time. I think there's some of them are still in prison because she ended up dying in the process of the exorcism. Now, because when they did the autopsy of her body, they found out that she was, the way they described it, she was beaten physically, like just like she got the shit kicked out of her. She was starved to death, and from no food and no water. Now they claimed it was all self-inflicted. Now, oh, the physical damage on her body was all self-inflicted, but they did starve her and keep water from her.
They normally did that to try and exorcise the demon out of the body,
I
but
can
that's just hurting her even more than,
okay.
trying to exorcise the demon out.
I can understand that type of logic. Like you got to think if there's like a creature in you or in your body and the body is about to die. Now, theoretically, if you die, the creature or the entity inside you dies with you, apparently. I read that somewhere. So
There's also
they have to try to trick the entity to thinking the body's going to die, so it leaves. So it becomes weaker and then they can exercise it from the body. The problem with that is that you're killing the body at the same time. That person's dying. And in this case, she did. Now, whether or not it was real or she was just suffering from major mental problems and had mental health issues that caused her to go like a little weird, that's that. But the fact is that I don't think they tested her for that. Was it back in the 80s, 70s, 80s this was happened?
I believe so.
It was a while ago because it was all, oh shit. It was something like that. I don't remember the date.
So she was born on the 21st of September 1952, and
Okay.
she died on the 1st of July 1976. So back in the
70.
70s.
Okay, so it was in the 70s. Like I thought the footage looked old because you can actually see like the pictures you see of her are like legitimate pictures, like before and afters, and it's crazy because they were not looking at people with mental health issues back then. If you had any type of mental health issue, you usually got thrown in a home anyways. So they didn't really do a good job.
So
The,
she underwent 67 Catholic exorcisms during the year before her death.
67?
67.
Holy shit. In 1 year.
That's what it said, yeah.
Fucking hell. Like, okay, fine, do a couple times. 67, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, she died from malnutrition, which from her parents and priests were convicted of neglect and homicide.
Good. Fuck them. I'm gonna say that right now. See, I understand trying it like once or twice, maybe even 3 times, and be like, hey, this shit's not working. But 67 fucking times. That's ridiculous. Imagine, no wonder like she ended up dying. You got to think of how many times that happened in a year. That's like fucking what, 3 a month? Does that equal up? 3 times 12?
I don't do math.
Well, like, yeah, holy shit.
That is a lot of exorcisms. I know you said there's 7 types of exorcisms. The one that I clearly know and have heard of was a water exorcism. Basically, they will put a cloth over your face and try and drown out the demon. It's basically make you drown.
That is called water torture. That's actually something that is illegal to do. When you put a towel over your face and dump water on the towel, I believe that's called water torture. Being waterboarded. That's the actual term for it. Waterboarded. Because of the water going into your face and stuff like that, it actually makes your body think that you're drowning. And it's a horrible torture. Like you can potentially drown from it too. Like that's fucked up. Okay, so I have 3 different exorcisms, different styles of exorcism, which is interesting because they do these all the time and people don't realize they're actually exorcisms. Baptismal exorcisms, blessing an infant prior to baptism to cleanse it of evil resulting from the original sin. Like, you know how everybody's born a sinner?
Yeah.
And you bless the baby. That's technically called baptismal exorcism.
So basically saying, since I'm baptized as Catholic, I had an exorcism when I was a baby?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's prior to baptism. So that little tiny prayer thing that they do to you before they like slam dunk you into that fucking holy water, that's
they don't slam dunk you into the water. They sprinkle it
Oh,
over your face. But
no,
in
hold
other
on. I've
countries,
seen.
they have no, no, no. That's it. Wait, wait, wait. I'm not finished. Chill out. I'm not finished.
Okay.
I'm saying in other countries, when they did baptisms, they would dunk the baby's head in, and the poor thing was like, "You're gonna snap its neck." I'm like, "Stop!"
Oh yeah,
The
there's this
poor
one.
thing.
There's this one priest. You just see him holding the baby, and then he just see him like fucking just like turn and just go what, like slam the baby down. The baby comes up like going like, what the fuck just happened to me? But like, yeah, they slam dunk him. They like Michael Jordan that shit, just boom right into the fucking holy water. Okay, so second one. It's just called a simple exorcism, blessing a place or a thing to rid it of evil influence. So, like the stuff that you do when you bless a house or an item, it's called a simple exorcism.
See,
And
when we get haunted objects, we have a priest that comes in or a bishop that comes in and blesses them to keep them contained, basically.
oh, there you go. What to lock it in the item or to get rid of it from the item?
No, no, to lock it in the item.
Okay, so it
As
can't leave the item.
as I was talking about in last week's episodes when we did the 5 creepy dolls, as I was saying that spirits use items as a vessel before they jump into another vessel once they've finished with using it. But if it stays in that vessel, then we contain it and keep it in that vessel so it doesn't go into somebody else
Yeah.
or something else.
Now, are those foolproof? Like, how long do those last? Like, how long does that binding last on that item?
So we bless the haunted items maybe every month because we have them all contained in like glass boxes and stuff like that with prayers around them as well.
Okay.
And since my friend has the storage unit, he's very religious, so he will go in there every few days and light some candles and do some prayers and stuff like that as well.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's very, very tight and very contained.
Very, very
As we,
clinical.
yeah,
Very,
yeah.
okay.
He likes to do that because he doesn't want other people to go in. Like it's sort of like it's like if someone goes in and not aware of like haunted objects or paranormal things or demonic entities and stuff like that, and they go in, it's not like a spirit is going to attach themselves because they're contained in their little area basically. Plus, we don't let public in anyway, just because of how dangerous it can be.
You could do like a haunted item museum thingy, just like Ghost Adventures.
No, 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 no. I would never do
No, no,
that.
no, 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 no. Fuck him.
Well, I know, like, jumping off the topic for a minute, but
Yeah.
why would you have a museum full of haunted objects if you know if they're dangerous and you have warning signs on it? I get it. Don't come at me. I know it's interesting to look at and they're interesting to know about the history and the information about it. But why would you have a museum full of haunted objects if you know they're haunted and have warning signs up, but you still have people to come in? But in saying that, we do ghost tours, so it's kind of the same thing in a way.
Okay. Ghost tours are different than going into items that could potentially possess you.
Yes, but there is items. But there is items in the mental asylum or anywhere haunted location.
But like you said, if the item is being possessed, it's using it like a vessel. It's looking to move to a different area. So if you have this building just full of vessels and you have hundreds of people coming through, and like you said, like if you know these items, it's not so much this is another reason why the whole thing, if you truly believe that these items could cause problems to people, why would you do that?
See, a lot of people have said they have fainted, they felt sick, they had headaches, they got scratched, they got touched. And then like if you want to get cleansed afterwards, get cleansed. Like, it's like the best way to get rid of negative entities.
Yeah. I wonder
But
how much of that
that's
is
why
actually like placebo, and people just feeling weird because of the idea of it.
that's why I don't like, it's the same with me putting a haunted item on camera. You're Anything that's electronic can be a vessel.
See, I've heard that like spirits and whatnot can travel through, like, idea of like, because me and you are doing this, like it's not like they jump on there and they're on the internet and they can just go wherever they want. It's like it has to be two areas linked like this.
Hmm.
I've heard of that.
So
Not a
that's
lot
why.
of information on it because technically, doing electronics, this stuff's fairly new still.
Hmm. And this is why I don't like when people say to me, "Oh, you should do a video or something at the objects that you have in the storage container." I'm like, no. I'm like, I've been a paranormal investigator for 7 years. I've been around the paranormal my whole entire life. I know how to deal with these things. I don't want to take some person into our area where they're unsure and not sure what to do with those sort of things. And it
Mm-hmm.
can be very overwhelming. It's not something you can just jump into. It's something that you have to research and learn about and understand.
There you go. Like, it's, I don't know, people just weird.
It's
Like,
it's the same.
what?
It's the same with exorcism.
Yeah, well,
It's
exactly.
you know, okay, so exorcisms don't get talked much about because people keep going back to movies and thinking that's what happens on movies. No, it does not. Don't believe everything that you see in Hollywood because it ain't gonna be real unless you see it yourself. And I have.
See, and okay, so I have a list of um different signs. Now, one, they're from two different websites. I'll put the links to these websites in the description so people can go to them. According to the church, telltale signs of demonic possession: speaking or understanding languages which the person has never learned, kind of like speaking in tongues or knowing like Latin and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
that's interesting. Knowing and revealing things that person has no earthly way of knowing. Physical strength beyond the person's natural physical makeup. A violent aversion to God, the Virgin Mary, and the cross and other images of the Catholic faith.
Mhm.
So, like, there is, like, it's interesting that they have that. Like, oh, hold on a second. I had another list here. Hey, here we go. Yes. Signs of demonic invasion vary depending on the type of demon and its purpose, including lack of loss or lack of appetite, cutting, scratching, and biting of skin, a cold feeling in the room, unnatural bodily posture, and change in a person's face and body. See, that's interesting. I like that. Like, this is, there could be some explanations for some of these, but like a cold feeling in the room, that could just be up to the person. Uh, the possessed losing control of their normal personality and entering into a frenzy or rage and attacking others. Now, okay, see, that is different. You have to be very careful with that one because that leads to mental health issues, which is very interesting because according to the Vatican's guidelines issued back in 1999, they started touching base on the mental health problems. The person who claims to be possessed must be evaluated by doctors to rule out mental or physical illness. Most reported cases do not require an exorcism because 20th century Catholic officials regard genuine demonic possession extremely rare phenomenon that is easily confounded with natural mental disturbances. So they're finally
Mhm.
accepting the fact that not everybody who has something wrong with them is possessed by a demon. Back in the day, that's
And
all it was.
and this is what I was saying to everybody else. An exorcism is basically a last resort. And to have an exorcism, you have to have a mental health evaluation
Mm-hmm.
because not everything's going to be an exorcism. Not always going to be possessed.
Yeah, exactly.
This is why we go through so many different steps to do an exorcism.
And yes, don't automatically jump to. I know we're telling people like this, we're fucking professionals. Don't automatically jump to be like evil spirits or something wrong with somebody, and it's just like, oh, it's an evil spirit and stuff. Go and get them clinically checked out by a professional, because
Yeah,
there are a lot of fakes out there, tons of fakes.
there is. There really is. So there is 4 degrees of demonic possession. You got infestation, which is 1. You got oppression. You got obsession, and then you got possession. So there are your 4 demonic possessions.
So what are those? Like, obviously possession is the last one. It makes sense. It's taken over, it's possessed you. So what do they each do? Does it give the description of what each stage does?
So an infestation is a haunted house type of stuff, like footsteps, voices, apparitions, furniture, or other objects moving without human,
Okay, so
human
that's the
touch, basically.
standard, like haunting.
Yes. Or like odors, um, stuff like that. You know how like it's like if you walk into an old house that was built on some sort of land that had people who died there once before, or it's like an
Mhm.
old funeral home, and you walk in there and you get this weird rotten meat smell, or it
Yeah.
makes you physically sick. That basically means there's like a demonic entity in that area, or a mean, ugly spirit, basically. I
Okay.
don't call them not
So
ugly, but it just means, you know,
so that's called infant. What was that one called again?
infestation.
Oh, infestation. Okay, so that's exactly like, it's exactly what it sounds like. The house or area you are around is getting infested by um
Spirits.
the spirits. It's the standard. It's literally the first stage of what we do. We go and investigate things like that. It's literally haunting.
Yeah. So your second one is oppression. So actively steps up with physical attacks, sleep disturbances, including regular nightmares, frequent and severe illness, major depression, anxiety levels, severe financial or employment problems, relationship troubles. And while all these things happen, it's a normal course of life. All of them happening at once or a rapid rate could be a sign of demonic presence.
Damn.
So
I know a
that's your
few.
oppression.
I know a few people who may have had demonic possession. God damn. That's so. That's just like. So that's them, kind of like getting like attaching to you, the
Yeah,
beginning stages. So
basically, yeah,
instead of it being around the house, it's literally focused on you, and it starts fucking up your whole life.
pretty much. That's your oppression, yeah.
Damn.
So your obsession, as the name implies, as this stage of the afflicted person has a hard time functioning, being constantly productive throughout the demonic activities. Um, basically, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong because it's a big word. Condor conjuring or something his or her life, and frequently thoughts of suicide as well, and sleep becomes nearly impossible.
Okay. So this is starting to make more and more sense on why a lot of people back in the day were very much confused with if these were like this, if these were the rules that they went with back in the day. There's a lot, like, you got to think how many people have lives like that, have nothing to do with spirits or demons and whatnot. Their lives are just like that. They suck. All right, a lot of us have been through fucking tons of stuff like that, where your life just doesn't work out, everything goes to shit, and then your brain goes a dark way. A lot of people have had lives like that. So it kind of makes sense on why people thought people are being possessed back in the day, if that was the fucking rules that they went through.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and then you got possession. Contrary to a popular belief, possession is not demonic. Sorry, possession is not demons entering a person's body and taking over his or her soul. A person's free will is never removed, only severely compromised. In a possession, a person is physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually broken down by going through other three stages that demonic spirits are able to seize, occasionally control over the person's addictions.
So it's not
How-
making you do anything. It's just pushing you in the direction of the bad choices.
Yeah.
It just
and it says at the end, telltale signs do not include a 360 degrees head spin.
Nice. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, that was all movie. That kind of shit was just all movie. I don't care how possessed you are. The physical human body does not do that.
And you definitely don't spit out green pea soup.
Depending on what you ate the night before. Really? Well, like, yeah,
or
okay, so
you don't F yourself with a crucifix.
yeah, no, that's bad. Okay, so the last one, it explains that it's not. So I like how those rules still say it's still your fault. Like,
yes,
it's still all you. It's just the spirit in you. Oh, so that's like that's such a really weird cop out. Like, so it's still making you the problem. You're still at fault. It's not this, it's not even the demon. It's just the demon's there. Don't get me wrong, the demon is there. You are possessed technically, but all the choices you're making that are bad are still all you. It's just the possession, the spirit or demon kind of nudges you in the negative direction, but you're still the one making that fucking decision. That's such a kick to the teeth. God damn. It's like, not only are you possessed, you're still making wrong choices with your life. Fuck.
See, this is like when you're going way back in like the olden days kind of thing. It's like they always went to, like, if mental health was a problem, they went straight to an exorcism.
Yeah.
Kind of. Or you'd be chucked into a mental asylum. It depends.
Well, exactly. And we all know what fucking happened in those places. Most of them none of them are open still to this day. They've all closed down and new ones have opened, yes, with better regulation and government watching over them.
I know that people have died from an exorcism. I just don't know how many there's been successful.
Didn't we know? We looked this up. Wasn't it like 5? It was like such a small number.
No, that was like that was about lobotomies.
Oh yeah, that was lobotomies. I have a feeling this number is going to be even smaller. Or they don't have a technical real number.
No, probably not.
And you got to think of how many people probably had mental health issues and had to go through this kind of shit and kind of not fix them, but you got to think, if you're also an asshole. Let's say you're making bad choices, and you're just a dickhead. Okay, imagine going through this kind of shit, like an exorcism, and you're thinking, "Fuck, I got to straighten my life up, or this is going to keep happening," and it fixes them, and just kind of sets them straight. That's fucked. To think that was the rules. That was like, oh, all these bad things are happening to you, but it's all you, by the way. And yeah, there's a spirit that's making you make bad decisions, but it's actually you making the bad decisions. It's just giving you the option to make that bad decision. Like, goddamn, way to make people feel like dicks. Like, yeah, it is the way of certain religions that, you're born a sinner. I don't give a shit. You're already born. You're going to hell. That's just how it is. And on top of that, if you get possessed, it's still your fault. Fuck. God damn.
I can't find anything on how many have been successful.
To be fair, what, turn of the century and stuff like that, like, you got to think the last one that we know about, I think, was the one of Emily Rose. I forgot her real name. We'll just call her Emily Rose. I think that was one of the last ones I know about that they did. That was like a legitimate one, and that didn't even fucking end well. Like, the priests and clergymen, all the people involved, her parents were charged with manslaughter. Was it manslaughter? Homicide. Some shit.
Okay, so you wanna know something that just popped up on my phone.
Okay.
How much money do an exorcist make?
Oh, here we go.
An exorcist from the Roman Catholic Church will make a typical priest salary of 35,000 to 50,000 per year.
35,000 to 55,000 a year.
These are official exorcists may only perform an exorcism per year.
You may have to repeat that because it all went to shit. I think we're losing connection. And welcome back, everybody. We just had some technical difficulties there. Some issues with my internet, so this all crapped out. But yeah, we were just talking about the exorcists and their salary. Was it like 30 some odd to 60,000?
I think so.
It's a salary. So whether or not they actually perform the exorcist or the exorcism or not, or if they ever do one, they're still getting paid that amount of money. That's insane.
Well,
and the fact that there's a group of them that get paid like that isn't just nuts.
their salary is from 35,000 to 50,000 per year, and this is official exorcist may only perform a few exorcisms per year.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
And you got to think like okay, so they have to have at least a couple exorcisms a year. Is that what you just said?
So it's the official exorcist may only perform a few exorcisms per year.
Oh, so they actually have a limit. They can only perform a couple a year.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're trying to get like a quota. They have a max number they're allowed to do. See, that's even crazier because they're like, okay, only do like 5 or like something like that. Like there's a number that they not allowed to surpass, which is nuts, which is weird. Like, why would they put a limit on them? Like, wouldn't you want them to do as many exorcisms as possible if they honestly like believe in this stuff and they're finding people that imagine you hit your limit and then somebody's like, I have somebody who's possessed. I need you to exercise. And they're like, no. I already got my quota. It's fine. Like, that's kind of nuts. And they make a good chunk of money too. Oh no. Did it shit out again? I don't know if shit out again.
You literally froze.
It probably froze. I know I'm going on a rant here and I just see you kind of like half eyeball it because it froze with your eyes like half open. But yeah, no, that's crazy. Did you freeze again? No, you didn't freeze again. Okay. I think it is crazy that they have a limit and they get paid 35,000 to 65,000, whatever number it is. Fucking it's nuts because like that's more than what I get a year. and they're told not to do that many. That's not fair. But like, and it's crazy according to the church, telltale signs of demonic possession include speaking or understanding languages which the person has never learned, different from speaking in it's different from speaking in tongues. So tongues is like a rambling of like noises and stuff, potential forgotten language. So that's what tongues is, which is considered a sign of religious ecstasy, not possession. So tongues is okay, different language is bad. So gibberish, yes. Other known languages, not good. All right. So we know that one. Knowing and revealing things that the person has no earthly way of knowing. That could just be gossip. Like, you know, how many people I've met who've known shit about me. I'm like, how the fuck would you know that? And I never got to find out. Okay. Physical strength beyond the person's natural physical makeup. See, that's interesting. That is crazy. Cause like fucking imagine like some little old lady or some child, like just throwing around shit like a fridge or something. That'd be nuts. And okay, a violent aversion to God, the Virgin Mary, and the cross and other images of the Catholic faith. Now, to be fair, I know a fair bit of people who are not a fan of the Catholic faith. So again, that's another iffy thing because it all depends. But imagine like you just go off that and that's how you're basing your exorcisms off of. And that's crazy because there are different types of exorcisms. We did touch base on those. Okay, you did just say that they have a limit, which is crazy because apparently if you do a Google search for the word exorcism, you'll find ads for an exorcist named Wanda. I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to give her any credit and I don't want to get in trouble, but her first name's Wanda. So you can figure that out on your own, anybody who's listening. For example, has 30 years of experience with 25,000 successful performed exorcisms. She's found 25,000 people in 30 years. Hold on a second. I got to do that. I know it's probably simple math. So 25,000 divided by 30. She's done in 30 years, 25,000. That's 833.3 repeater a year. That's more than one a day. That's more than two a day. Yeah, that's more than two a day. That's like 2 and a bit a day. That's insane. This woman does more than 2 a day exorcisms for the past 30 years.
That is very much insane.
Yeah.
I just want to jump on the topic of movies with exorcisms in it.
Oh, yeah. No, those are crazy.
I'm just gonna say this: not everything that you see in Hollywood is actually real.
9 times out of 10, it's fake. It's not right at all.
There is a few movies that probably people have heard and are very popular, which is The Conjuring, which is based off a true story from Ed and Lorraine Warren, from their investigations. And I know a lot of people, I have had a lot of people say to me, oh, they're fake, they're this and that. They've been doing it for they've been paranormal investigators for so many years. They're literally my idols and I absolutely love them. But when it comes to movies, everyone, well, not everyone, but I'm going to say some or a few, think that's how it actually happens. You play with a Ouija board or you summon something and you get possessed. It's not exactly how it works. And like Nathan said, not everything is real in Hollywood.
Yep. All right. So wait, what's the most common way to get possessed in your experience? I'm not saying this like all around the world. I'm just saying like what you've experienced and what you've seen and what you know. What would be probably the most common way somebody would probably get possessed?
That's a really good question.
I'm new to this, so I'm kind of asking like, I don't know, like Ouija boards, obviously the stereotypical Hollywood idea of it. And I know there's a lot of people that are totally against the whole Ouija board concept. Some people, they say it's just not a thing at all. Zero. Like Ouija board is zero. It's all fake. You're subconscious. The group of people who are playing with the Ouija board are subconsciously moving it on their own, not realizing they're doing it. So would it be an item or like living in an area? Like what would be a very common way or the most common way somebody would get possessed?
That's a really good question. Like I know I've been around the paranormal my whole life, and I've been a paranormal investigator for like 7-something years now. As I've seen many things that I can't talk about, common ways. It really depends, I guess. Like,
Sorry for putting you on the spot like that, but I was like, what is a common way? Like it made me think about it.
I guess it's like, maybe there's some sort of attachment to a house and the spirit doesn't like you being in there, so I guess they get possessive in a way. Or it could be like an object that you pick up but you don't really know.
And a possession isn't always a demon, right?
It's not always demon, no.
Yeah.
Like I said last night, about 4 ways of possession. See, I haven't been possessed, so I don't I don't know what the common way is. Like, oh yeah, you should know everything. I'm a paranormal investigator. I'm not an exorcist.
Well, exactly. Like, I don't know if maybe you talk to like an exorcist. Maybe that's what we should do. We should try to find an exorcist. See, if we can find one. I don't know if you can just Google them and be like, hey, I need to find a legitimate exorcist, and ask them legitimate questions and see what they'll say. I'm gonna Google it. What's the most common way to get?
It's like I said yesterday. So your first one is infestation. Your second is oppression. Third is obsession. Common, I guess, 4 degrees of demonic possessions. That's what I know. Yeah, I don't know how to answer your question.
No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I'm trying to find it. Like, what's an actual, like, how does someone get? Oh, here, actually, how does someone get possessed? Oh, I didn't fucking do that right. Because, like, oh no, man, my internet's really shit in the bed right now. How does someone get possessed? There. the first thing that pops up is, as a psychiatrist, I diagnose mental illness. What happens when a person is possessed by a demon? Spirit possession. Can people be like, yeah, there's no reasons for possession. Here we go. This might be it. Like, it's just like, you gotta think, if there's like, obviously there's been enough possessions that people have had to do exorcisms on, that there's got to be like a common way somebody gets possessed by a demon or an evil spirit. Reasons for possession. Here we go. Can I just get a list here? No, this is just, what the hell? I don't even know what the hell this is. That's a book. I don't want a book. What is schizophrenia? It's a mixture between demon possession and then like actual mental illness. Jesus Christ. How to tell if someone is possessed by a demon. That's not it. Yeah, okay. So there's, from what I can tell really quickly, because I've done 30 seconds of research on Google, so it makes me a professional. Apparently, there's no common way. There probably is. I'll have to look this up. There's, from what I can tell, there's no common way that somebody gets possessed by a demon or an evil spirit. Apparently, there's a lot of mental health websites out there you can go to if you think you are possessed by a demon. But there's no like, just, oh yeah, it's because of this reason, or you're spending too much time in a cemetery, or like, you're just playing with a Ouija board. Nothing. It doesn't talk about anything. It's just like, hey, this is like, this how you can tell if you're possessed, or you have a mental illness. You might be schizophrenic. Like, no, nothing in between. That's it. So, yeah, we'll have to get like, I'm gonna see if I can find an exorcist and ask them questions. We might be able to get them on here. See what they have to say. I'd love to get like a legitimate, legitimate exorcist. That'd be interesting. But apparently that one lady with the 25,000, where is she? Yeah, 25,000 fucking possessions, which is insane. Wait, where is it? Where is she? She's in here.
I could ask one person that I know, but I don't know if they would do a Zoom.
You don't know if she'd be okay with that? Or is she? He, them, I don't know.
He.
You never know.
I could give you information.
Yeah, if you just message them and see if they're willing to talk,
We'll see.
or they don't have to come on. We can just ask them questions and we can just read them out on here if they don't want to. We won't put their name on it. You can, when you contact them, you can say that like we contacted a legitimate or an exorcist in general. Ask them questions. These are the questions. We're not going to give out their names, and this is their answers. Just so it keeps their name clear. So kind of like a little like a secret interview that they won't get in trouble for doing.
I don't know what else to say on this topic.
Like, well, going back to the Hollywood aspect of it, like a lot of people only have experience with, like I said, The Exorcist and fucking The Exorcist of Emily Rose, and a lot of people should get more educated on it because, as I just Googled, most of it has to do with mental health problems, and even the Catholic Church has touched base on that, and they say the last thing they ever do is an exorcism on somebody. They do tons of doctor's appointments and gets like mentally evaluated and everything like that, and they try to make sure that the person is just mentally ill and not actually possessed by a demon, because as you can tell by many different exorcisms, they can be very dangerous and people can die. So yeah, it's pretty insane.
It is insane. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Like, I know we're reading off our phones a fair bit because there's just there's a lot of information on this subject, and like there's different laws that the Catholic Church goes under. It's pretty insane, and I will be putting all these websites in the description so people can see them and can do their research and have probably better understanding the way I've been explaining it. But yeah, like it's just a very interesting thing, the idea that somebody is possessed by an evil entity. I wonder if there's ever any, like, why are all possessions bad? Like, now I'm gonna have to Google that too. Are all possessions bad? Because that's all you hear. You always hear like a demon or an evil spirit possesses somebody and fucks their life over. What if, like, is there ever a good possession? Like a nice spirit? There's nice spirits out there from what I've heard. Why isn't there a nice possession?
I don't know. I can't answer that for you.
Well, I'm just like, that's another question I gotta ask an exorcist if I ever get to meet one. And just be like,
Well, I've sent you a few links. There's a one in Melbourne.
is there? Oh, sweet. Okay, I'm gonna have to contact them. Do like a little interview if they're cool with it.
They have been on like the news and everything like that too.
All right. I wonder, because technically, by the rules of the Catholic Church, to be a legitimate exorcist, you have to be a Baptist or through the Vatican, through the church. Like if you're not through them, you're not considered a real exorcist, which I don't know why they get to have like the monopoly on exorcisms and stuff like that. Like they only have a quota, like they have like a certain amount that they can do a year and they can't go past that. Like, so I don't know why they have to have it all. Like that's not fair to the rest of us who want to make a living. But yeah. So
I know someone that you could contact, but he's an American.
that wouldn't be that bad because we could do a Zoom thing with him. But again, it's like you got to think some of these exorcists may be a little secretive and don't want to have their name too much out there. But you know, you did say that one person here in Melbourne was on the news, so I don't know. Like, do you want to be too secretive? You don't want, like, you want to be known so you could actually do exorcisms, but you don't want too much like publicity because you might get like. Does the church go out of their way to try to stop these people?
I have no idea.
Like, is this like a big turf war type thing? Like territory? Like the church gets this, like non-church exorcists get it, like it, or does the church go out of their way to try to stop them, to put like a fucking like a monkey wrench in their whole like plan, their whole operation? I wonder if there's a thing. about that. I gotta look. There's so much I gotta Google now. Big turf war with the Catholic Church and just like freelance exorcists. Hold on, I'm gonna Google that right now. Freelance exorcisms. No, freelance exorcists. Because yeah, there's got to. Oh, I bet. I wonder if that could be a good movie. Well, that's kind of like Constantine. He's like a freelance exorcist. Like he knows God and the devil are real. He just doesn't believe in them. And he's only an exorcist through the church because he kind of has to be, but he doesn't like to be.
Hmm.
So yeah, like
Apparently, you can get an exorcism done online for $290.
how the fuck does that work? Oh, you
I
mean
don't know.
wait, like a degree or like to get like
No, like to have an exorcism done.
on online?
Yeah.
I guess COVID. That's fair. What they just like bring up Zoom and just kind of like, all right, throw this water on
Yeah,
them
pretty much.
when I say, the power of Christ compels you, and then somebody's in the background just throwing water balloons.
That's not what they say. They do not say the power of Christ compels you.
Okay,
That is not in their book.
hold on. You just said they had online exorcisms. You really think they're gonna follow the rules properly?
They have to. You
On
can't say
online
no.
exorcisms?
There is an actual thing. If you look it up, there's an actual thing of saying the exorcist or exorcism prayer. There's an actual prayer that you can read on there.
But would it work online? Like, would it work just like some guy yelling it through a Zoom? I guess it could. Technically, it's just the words, but that would probably be very confusing to like a demon or a spirit and be like, what the fuck? They like in this person strapped to a bed or whatever, and they just like bring out this laptop flipped open, and the demon spirits, and they're like, this motherfucker just setting up a laptop. Like, what's happening? How confused would that demon or spirit be? Because you're like, oh, we're gonna get rid of you right when I boot this shit up.
I have no idea. I don't know what you want me to say.
Okay, so apparently there is freelance exorcisms or exorcists, and apparently the rise of freelance, and this is in quotes, freelance exorcists in France are rising. The demand has sparked a rash of freelance exorcists, people outside the clergy who will charge between 900 and 1,000 euros, which is over $1,000. This is crazy. Oh, freelance exorcist 2-book series. You can get it from Amazon. That'll help you out. Apparently, what's this? This is an Instagram page. Okay. There is. Okay, apparently there is a bunch of different freelance exorcists you can get. So if anybody's looking to get exercised in the spiritual way, yeah, you can find that shit online. And apparently you can do it online too, get an exorcist done or exorcism done. Yeah. So it's that easy nowadays. I guess with the whole COVID thing, that's fair. That makes sense. You gotta keep that fucking distance. But like, that's just. I'm gonna have to contact some of these
Holy crap!
What?
Each year, more than 500,000 people seek out services for an exorcism.
500,000 people?
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong fucking business. Fuck me. Hey, I could get ordained. That wouldn't be that hard. You can hey, I can do that online too.
That's not how it works.
Apparently it is. You can't get ordained online. That's not how it works. Exorcisms, though, right up there. You can get ordained. You can get legally ordained where you're legally considered a priest or a reverend, and you can actually marry people. And you can take different names. You can be a priest, a reverend, father, witch doctor. It's awesome. A bishop. Yeah, you can get all different types of labels, and apparently it's legitimate. I don't know about here in Australia. I know you can do it in North America. I looked into it. I did look into it just for the hell of it. Just see if I could. Apparently you can. I want to be called a witch doctor.
Okay, you become the witch doctor then.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And then like, well, you did say that like you can do apparently the Vatican had spots that you can go and become an exorcist.
Well, training to be an exorcist, yes.
They make good. No, wait, hold on a second. You said between I think it was like 35 and 55 or $60,000. Now, is that euros?
I didn't say.
Oh, it didn't say. It just said it just gave you that amount of money. Okay. Could be pounds. Could be a lot of money. That could be a fair bit of money. And you only do a couple a year, so that's not that bad either. So like, yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, exorcism is an interesting thing. It is very interesting. And you did send me a fair bit of links that I need to check out.
Mhm.
Is okay. I don't want to say the names out loud, but yes, you send me a lot of stuff. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'll have to check. Yes. There's a holy shit, meet the real life Australian exorcist. Damn. All right. This is gonna be exciting. I got a lot of homework to do.
He does have a lot of homework to do.
Fuck ton of homework. You sent me so many links. It's gonna be good. It'll be great. Hopefully they'll be willing to talk to me or talk to us. If I could interview them, that'd be really rad.
I'm curious.
And how if they'll even talk to me.
Yeah, that. And if they're going to get back to you.
Well, yep.
The person that I would love to talk to is from, I think I'm saying this right, if I am, the Hollywood Files.
Oh, yep.
What's his name? I keep seeing it pop up on my page or something. David or Dave. I would love to speak to him.
They're in the States, right?
Yes.
Oh, you never know. You try to contact him. He might be willing to like chat or answer some questions.
I could.
I could. But yeah, like yeah, we should contact them. You contact them. I'll contact the exorcist people here and we'll see what we get back. See if anybody answers us.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So yeah, we've been going for about 20 minutes, half an hour on this half now since our little technical difficulties happened. So yeah, we should probably wrap this up. Yes, we'll end it on that note that we will both go our different ways to go and contact people and see what we get back. And maybe we'll touch base on exorcisms again in a little while. It'll be exorcisms 2.0 or whatever we'll call it.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. All right. Thank you everybody for listening. And we'll see you in our next podcast. And yes, enjoy the rest of the week and wherever you are in the world right now. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you later, Lauren.
See you later.